Oda a la felicidad es un libro con ilustraciones de la dibujante Alexandra Grant escrito por Keanu Reeves, que recientemente ha promocionado su primer trabajo editorial en Londres, contando a los medios de comunicación el principal mensaje del mismo. Melancolía, patetismo y una especial dosis de humor han sido los ingredientes estrella en esta concepción particular de la felicidad según el astro de Hollywood. Esta entrevista radiofónica de la BBC concedida por Keanu el 24 de junio da clara muestra de cómo Keanu sabe reírse de su nostalgia.
I'm cleaning myself, dry myself with my gorgeous white 100% and it will never change towel. And I smooth on close. And I hate myself basically. Then I put on my alone again silk pajamas and go to sleep. When the hue has gone blue and you can't quite grin and bear it, let this word which will remind you.
Blockbuster films. His band has played at the Glastonbury Music Festival. A photograph of him eating a sandwich has become the subject of an internet phenomenon. Sad Keanu. So what else is there for him to do? Well, the answer was simple: to write a short illustrated story called Ode to Happiness. When I say short, I'm talking about less than 100 words, accompanied by rather moody watercolour images. It begins like this: I draw a hot sorrow bath in my despair room with a misery candle burning. So, how would Keanu Reeves describe his book?
We all kind of, who are involved with the book, the work, speak about it as being a kind of a grown-up's children's book, in a way.
And that's where the illustrations come in the way we can describe it on the radio, but it won't really do it justice. Less than 100 words, but the illustrations are pretty integral to it as well, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Alexandra Grant, who is a California artist, oftentimes works with text, and then she's a painter in other mediums. This was kind of born through a mutual friend of ours. I wrote this text, this poem, for a friend of mine, and then my friend took it to Alexandra to illustrate as what was going to be a gift back to me, which was a kind of a book. And Alexandra decided to make a book. And so they ended up coming back to me a few months later with a version of Ode to Happiness. And as we were looking at it, I started to show it to some friends, and they would go, I want one of these. And someone else would look at it and go, wow. And so we just thought, well, let's try and put it together. We went to the publisher, Gerhard Steidl. Alexandra went and met with him to see if he was interested in doing the book. He kind of held on to the original, and he went, this is something that you can't get on the iPad. This is something that needs to... He talks about it as being haptic, the experience of holding something. And his work, his publishing, is very much about the quality of the printing, the paper. It's the way it's bound, etc.
Yeah, but tell us about the inspiration for the poem then. A poem for a friend. What were you trying to convey? What are you trying to get across?
Well, it started where my friend and I, we were having a kind of, I don't know, what do you call it, like a kitchen talk. When you're hanging out in the kitchen? And I have a radio in my house, and she chose this radio station that was playing very emotional, dramatic, melodramatic kind of, I'm suffering, I've got the blues music, I've been lost, I've, no love, and it kept going on and on. And I was looking at my friend going, you love this. And I just started to write this kind of ode to happiness, this idea of...
What, to counteract the music or to complement it? What was the idea?
Yeah, well, it was born out of a kind of... That moment when you've got the blues, when you draw that hot bath, that hot sorrow bath, and you light the candle and you're just feeling, got the blues.
But is this Keanu Reeves' reaction when he has the blues? I mean, how literal should we take?
No, this is not autobiographical.
Right, you're not a man who gets in the bath and puts the candle on and then puts the cream on afterwards.
No.
How do you deal with the blues?
Oh, me, you know, I'm a whiskey man myself.
And you're a musician as well. Why the poem? Why not, you know, write a piece of music?
I think it was born just in that moment, you know. It was a little poking fun at it, you know, just that, you know, the work, I mean, it starts with, like, I draw a hot sorrow bath in my despair room with a misery candle burning. And it just kind of goes from there about this, you know, the poem is like, you know, talks about, you know, 100% it'll never change towels and silk and you know, going to bed alone and...
It reminds me of Nick Cave a bit.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, it's trying to put into context. It's trying to help one have a sense of humor about that moment, you know, to try and get us out of the blues in a way, you know, to just kind of look at ourselves.
Yeah, and are you having a bit of a poking fun at this strange internet sensation that happened last year with the photo of you sitting on the bench eating a sandwich and the sad Keanu Facebook page? Is it poking fun at that to a certain extent? No, there's some odd synchronicity. The book was and the text was written long before that event. Well, is it reactionary? Perhaps more not to that event, but to this image that somehow has grown up of Keanu as this rather depressive character. Are you really? I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. Who just hits the whiskey now. Don't we all, in some way or another? No, it really was, like I said, not autobiographical, but it was just kind of seeing, you know, with my friend, just that the recognizing of something that can be true, a moment of having the blues, being alone, and you know, the work kind of says, you know, at the end of it, it's like, let this word picture remind you it can always be worse. You know, it's just seeking to have a kind of context of where we are and hopefully to bring a smile to our faces. And you've already got the next one planned, I understand. Well, Alexandra and I and our friend, we talk about maybe doing a work called the Haikus of Hope. And, you know, generally playing with the haiku form and doing things with, you know, maybe like, I want to die. I really want to die. You know, I want to kill myself. And hopefully through this kind of smorgasbord of kind of self-extinction, we can laugh. Sounds hilarious. Why go for this very small, compact form? Why not, you know, the great American novel? Or maybe it is a great American novel. I don't know. You know, I think it's just really this work was born out of a friendship. The drawings are fantastic. Black ink on with water and paper. The artist describes them as being in the tradition of Sumi art, and so there's something kind of playful about them. You know, and the publisher Steidl went to great pains in terms of realizing them so that you do feel like when you hold the work that you're holding on to an original. These don't feel printed per se. They feel like they've been executed, that they're right there in your head. Only 4,000 are going to be printed. Is that where it's going to stop, or if those do sell out, would you want it to become more available, or was it? Absolutely. You would. It's not something that you want to keep as just a small print run and a exclusive little thing. I'd like people to at least have the opportunity to enjoy it. But that's up to Steidl. I don't really have any control over that. I can just beg. Please, Gerhard. Well, let's hope that Gerhard's listening. You wouldn't rather be at Glastonbury this weekend again? You were there. You played there more than a decade ago. Yes. Had a memorable time way back in, I think, I don't know, it's the 90s? Early 2000s? I think it was 99. Yeah, 99. Yeah, any chance of getting back on stage, or was this your direction for the time being when you're not doing the movies? You know, this has been it's been an extraordinary circumstance and really fun to collaborate with friends and the work makes me laugh. I think it's funny and great. Who says he's sad? Keanu Reeves telling me about his new book, Ode to Happiness, and those haikus sound like real rib ticklers, don't they? That brings us to an end of this programme. From me, James Kimarasamy, and the rest of the team here at NewsHour, thanks for listening, and goodbye for now.